With 28 years later, The Bone Temple, the long-running franchise takes another confident, unsettling step forward. Directed by Nia DaCosta and written by Alex Garland, this second chapter in the new trilogy, and technically the fourth film in the overall series, proves that the world of the infected still has plenty to say. But rather than relying on relentless action or constant jump scares, The Bone Temple chooses a more uncomfortable path. This is not a film designed to entertain you easily. It wants you to feel uneasy, to sit with that discomfort, and to reflect on what humanity becomes when the rules of civilization collapses. If you're familiar with the 28 franchise, you already understand the basics. A fast-spreading virus turns people into rage-filled, lightning-quick infected, and even the smallest drop of contaminated blood can mean the end. It's easy to call it another zombie movie, but there's a bit more depth to this one in this genre of movies. While the infected remain terrifying, the film shifts its focus away from them and towards something arguably more disturbing: the horrors of man. DaCosta and Garland are far more interested in exploring what people become in a broken world than in simply staging elaborate chase sequences. The result is a film that is thought-provoking, intense, and deeply unsettling in the best possible way. Visually and stylistically, DaCosta makes the film feel like hers while still respecting the DNA of the series. Danny Boyle's camera work defined the earlier films, and while DaCosta occasionally nods to that style, with locked-on cameras tracking actors in motion, her approach is her approach and feels less chaotic, giving the film a more deliberate, creeping sense of dread. When violence does arrive, it honestly made me want to look away from the screen. It's effective without being excessive is the best way to describe it, and as I've said before, the one word that was running through my mind while watching was just how uncomfortable I felt with the scenes, even in parts where there was no violence happening. There are only a couple of jump scares, and even those feel secondary to the slow burn tension that dominates the experience. At the heart of the film is Ralph Fiennes, whose performance not only carries the movie but defines it. As Dr. Kelson, Fiennes brings a quiet intensity that anchors the entire narrative. His relationship with the Alpha Samson, played by Lewis-Parry, an infected subject central to his research, becomes the core of the film. Their interactions are fascinating, funny, and just deeply human in unexpected ways. The idea of whether anything remains of the person inside the monster is brought to the forefront. It's an angle rarely explored in zombie-style horror, and it's easily the most compelling aspect of the film, almost like a Frankenstein moment. Fiennes delivers one of the strongest performances in the franchise and was easily my favourite character in this film. Running parallel to this storyline is Spike's induction to Jimmy Crystal's gang on the mainland. A subplot, while interesting, does slow the pacing at times. The focus on the Jimmy group can feel drawn out, however what it lacks in speed it makes up for in terror. Jack O'Connell's portrayal of Jimmy Crystal is chilling. The scenes with his gang inject a terror. There is an unknowing that makes the group feel more scarier than the actual infected. If you're a fan of The Walking Dead, that feeling when Negan's group turned up feels a lot like this. Jack O'Connell does a great job in this part, and even though things can slow down with the Jimmy group, he keeps things absorbing. One noticeable absence is Aaron Taylor-Johnson's character. Given his importance in the previous film, it's surprising how little he appears here. You might reasonably expect him to actively be searching for his son, yet the film largely sidelines him. It can come across a strange narrative choice, and one that slightly weakens the emotional through line connecting this chapter to the last. Still, the strength of the other performances helps offset this gap. Alfie Williams once again impresses as Spike, bringing vulnerability and quiet resolve to a role that could easily have become forgettable. Erin Kellyman and the rest of the cast also deliver solid, grounded performances that keep the world feeling believable. What ultimately makes The Bone Temple so effective is its willingness to prioritize discomfort over spectacle. This is not a cozy horror film, and it never wants to be. It forces you to confront cruelty, obsession, and moral collapse without offering easy relief. The infected are still frightening, but they're no longer the most dangerous thing in this world. The people are. Despite some slower sections and the underuse of certain characters, I found myself once again impressed with this franchise. I really enjoyed this film precisely because it made me uncomfortable in a really good way. It's intense without being exhausting, thoughtful without being pretentious, and brutal without being hollow. Nia DaCosta does a great job. 28 years later, The Bone Temple doesn't just continue the series, it deepens it, and I'm definitely looking forward to the next one to finish the trilogy. 28 years later, The Bone Temple is out in cinemas now. Have you seen it yet, and what did you think about this latest outing? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Hope you enjoyed the review. Don't forget to hit that like button. Thanks as always for watching, and until next time.